Oh, oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, I had so much sushi today with my parents. We basically went to like an all-you-can-eat style sushi, and it was like, and like ramen and sushi and pork katsu and bulgogi, and it was like if you ever watched a Dragon Ball Z episode when Goku and Vegeta and the whole family, all of them together, just they're just dogging food. I had so much sushi. Oh, yo, lock it the fuck in, alright? I don't know what the hell was with that intro. Editor, you better be on your fucking job lately before I smack you. He was actually at the sushi place too. He did the good thing. He had some good food. You were going hard, my man. Yo, damn me up. I'll sock you right now, you son of a bitch. However, we got it back. Back to the better version of microplastics compared to the bullshit that we've been drinking. And I know my hair's in a bun right now. So don't mind. I'm just, a little hair. Had the hair back today. Beautiful day, going for a walk. It was sunny, a little windy, not too crazy. However, fully locked in. Let's get this video started. The Hydration Nation, to settle it down, lock it in. Oh, yes, yes. High quality. You know what? One more sip. Hold on. Ah, yes. This is from Winter Spring, indeed. I don't know how a mage managed to conjure this water from that location. How did you survive? You must have teleported really fast, did you? Put them on high alert. I'm pissed off. However, lock it in. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a couple things to talk about today. I'm pretty excited to go over these topics. Mostly is going to be about the 60 upgrades planning for PvP. But there is something I do want to go over first that seems a little bit concerning to me, and we're going to dive into that first, and then we're going to dive into the PvP portion of this video, which I can't wait to go over. We have basically 3 builds of what we're going to talk about. It's an early PvP based build. This is for Paladins. This is just mainly for Ret, and then maybe we can dig a little bit into the talent points if you wish to. And this is early, mid-game, and late game for PvP overall in the, getting to 50, getting your gear overall, right? So this is what we're going to go over as of today. Editor, better switch it before I switch you out. Now, as you notice, there was a post about free character moves from Chaos Bolt US for new character creation closed for new players. Now, it looks like Blizzard announced that there will be FCM for Chaos Bolt US to Crusader Strike. In addition, new players may not create new characters on Chaos Bolt. This move is not currently available as Blizzard they're investigating a bug with the system. So, it seems like here's the blue post here. Let's read it from their own words from the horse's mouth. From Blizzard. At the beginning of SOD, we reassured you that there was no wrong choice for realms and that if any realm's population started to fall disproportionately, we would enable free character moves off that realm. Holding that to the promise, we have opened free character moves from the Chaos Bolt US RP PvP realm to Crusader Strike US RP PvP within weeks of maintenance. Additionally, new player character creation has been disabled on Chaos Bolt US. These transfers are not time limited, and PvP enforced faction balance remains in effect on Crusader Strike US. Thank you. And then they also mentioned free character transfer service at the moment for this realm is temporarily disabled while we investigate a bug. So they are going through, with this plan to transfer over everybody from Chaos Bolt to Crusader Strike. Now, I'm not too sure, just my thoughts real quick. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. I like the fact that they did mention, like, in the case of any servers having problems, whether they were dying out for some, particular reason, which I'm not too aware of, they would, have the free transfer overall. Now, what I'm curious about is this free transfer for every single character on that server that individual has, or is it just one character? Now, I would like to get your comments below on this from anybody that's at Chaos Bolt US. I actually want to hear everything you have to say about this, whether you're annoyed, pissed off. I'm curious to read the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know why Blizzard, in your opinion, is doing this, and have you transferred, or try to transfer your character. Obviously, it says there is a bug. I'm not too sure if this is gone because the article was 1 day ago, so this could have been changed by now. So I have no idea what's happening. This is technically old news from a day ago, but I want to know anything relevant up to date on your end. I haven't checked the forum post or anything, so I'm keeping this raw dog energy and just curious. When this video comes out, you let me know in the comments below so we can have this conversation, because I honestly, I don't I like the fact that they're offering the service, but it's a little concerning why it's only to Crusader Strike. I know Crusader Strike is a really popular server, especially for like the bigger streamers. So I'm not too sure if everyone's maybe thrilled about going to such a super populated server overall. I think it's at the end of the day, I have buddies of mine that are playing on Crusader Strike as well, no problems. But are they going to be limited to making only a specific faction tune, or will their character that they transferred, are they able to play it and there's no like errors or bugs or limitations of being able to play that character on that server? I mean, they claim to say that they have the room and the space, basically when you read the underlines of this post. So I'm curious to see what this is all about. And what if a person wanted to take the rest of their characters? Do they get the free transfers as well, or are those characters basically screwed, or they have to pay for transfers? So I'm very curious. Like I said, I'm out the loop. I don't have the full information on this. That's why I'm asking you guys about this. How do you feel about it? Are you annoyed? Are you satisfied with this? Do you wish it was a different server and not just Crusader Strike? I'm very intrigued to see what your thoughts are on this particular topic, so let me know in the comments below and we'll talk about it a little bit more. And no hate on Crusader Strike, by the way. Your boy, like I said, I had mentioned in my last video, I might even make a horde character on Crusader Strike to play over there with some of my friends from the Comeback Kids. Possibly. Very possible. Not 100% sure yet, but we will lock it in if we do. And that's the name of the Warlock, by the way, that we will make. Copyright that, trademark it, put everybody on high alert that takes it. However, let's go back into the portion of what I want to go through with the video. So, for 60 upgrades. So on 60 upgrades, we basically we made some sets here. We're not going to be talking about the PvE sets. We're mainly talking about the PvP portion of this video, which a lot of this gear also can be considered for PvE as well. I mean, right now what I like the most about SOD is that there's a lot of hybrid flexibility when it comes to specific gear that you could use, whether it's from PvP vendors or PvE in general, to mix and match with your gear. And I think that's only going to increase overall the value of that as we get to 60, when we get to the end game, especially if they add different types of reputational grinds, different rep rewards, etc. around the 60 point once we get there. But right now at 50, there is a lot of options that we can go with, that we can mess around with at least. And like I said, this is mainly for the Ret Paladins. We will talk maybe a little bit about Reckoning, but I think any shocking and stuff I'm not going to go over for today. So if you're bummed out about that, I apologize. I'm mainly talking about what I'm gonna do for a while, and then I'll experiment more with shocking and stuff, because I believe shocking is gonna be way better end game compared to how it's scaling now. And I think that the best bet or best bang for our buck when it comes to PvE and PvP is like either deep ret, or maybe even going a Reckoning build against melee tunes and characters overall, right? So let's talk about it. So for early game PvP, we have, which my camera is actually blocking it a little bit, so I do apologize, but I have the things. I'll move the camera over when we go to the right side. So we do have the Knight Lieutenant set for early PvP, trying to get this as fast as possible, trying to rack up our points, rack up our honor, and acquire this set as soon as we can. This is basically the rank 7 set, I believe, and this is why a lot of people right now currently are grinding those blood coins, because the first 2 weeks you'll be able to cash in a whole bunch of these coins and be able to acquire a very nice juicy bonus of basically PvP, but also PvE entry gear into Phase 3, and getting the full Knight set with every single piece on it is really juicy stuff. Of course, you see like we have the enchantments already on here and what enchantments we would go for, but yeah, basically the full Knight set would be your early game PvP set, especially with the fact that you get the 1% crit strike with spells and attacks, and also the fact you get some hit rating as well, which is also really nice, which benefits a little in PvP, but benefits mostly in PvE, right? If we're being honest. The really nice thing about the set is obviously the 15 extra stamina that you get from the overall set itself, and the 30 AP, which is really juicy. On top of already having natural strength and stamina all across the board for every individual piece for the 6-piece set itself, the Knight Lieutenant plate set is a phenomenal set to get your foot in the door with PvE and PvP content. And I think it's a it's not a bad looking set. I think it looks really nice with the Scarlet of the Crusade. I might run SM just to get this tabard, but overall nice stuff. Cool stuff indeed. Now, you are going to be seeing a lot of pieces here that are familiar, because obviously this is early game, right? We're not going to be, getting the best raid pieces off the rip, the best, PvP pieces or reputational reward pieces off the rip, but we're going to be trying to go for some pieces if we can, if we're capable of getting them. And this is like, obviously something that's still going to be really damn good still. And it's not, it's only it falls off really shortly by 2 AP from compared to just 16 AP. So it's a slight upgrade, but at the same time, you don't get stamina with the Bloodstained Charm to the Valor. You actually lose stamina. So I almost think the Nomergon Peace Officer's Torque is actually still BIS, and it's still really good. I mean, for 2 extra AP, not bad if you're trying to, min-max just that extra attack power. But overall, I think there's nothing wrong with going with this, or even Skeeby's Pendant if you get a world drop, if you get, really lucky with that. Maybe Resilience of the Exiled is another option as well. But I would say overall, the Nomergon's epic neck is still really, phenomenal overall. And then the Drape of Dismantling. I actually have a belief that the Drape of Dismantling is really good still in the next phase. I know the Black Veil Cape is going to give you more agi overall, and you're going to get, I think, 2 points less strength. However, this is going to scale better with obviously PvE stuff for like crit ratings and stuff. And then you get your Panther Fur Cloak, which is the best cloak in the game overall. But the Drape of Dismantling is still extremely solid, because when we're talking about PvP, we're talking about stamina, and this is the only cloak that at this type of rating that's going to provide +7 stamina. And it is really juicy to have something like this. So I really think it's a really phenomenal cloak, and it gives an incentive to stick to doing Nomer as well. And especially when you're higher leveled and you're overpowering shit, Nomer is going to be a joke overall, right? We all know this, just like PFD is a joke. So it's going to be much easier to try to acquire one of these bad boys, for sure. And the best part about this, too, the Drape of Dismantling is from, I believe, if I'm correct, Vicious Fallout, which, even if you didn't want to do a full Nomer run and just go for this, you can go for it. But if you're trying to do a full run for the necklace, I said the necklet, unbelievable. Somebody shoot me in Minecraft, all right? I'm getting tight. I'm getting real tight out here. You better edit that out. However, yes, this is overall, what I'm basically saying is Nomer's still pretty, good to go for. Berserker Braces, if you have made the struggling attempt to do Warsong Gulch without actually Kurt Cobaining yourself, then yeah, it's pretty good. But if you're not doing it, then settle the fuck down and go for something else. However, lock it in Minecraft, of course, YouTube, family-friendly channel. However, yes, Berserker Braces are phenomenal. Obviously, if you get Exalted Warsong Gulch, it is really nice stuff. But engineering also offers us something really incredible this time around. A leather piece with a lot of agility, a lot of strength and stamina. And then also has a really good proc based built-in ability use to basically be immune to fear for 15 seconds. And that's like basically, if you're a warrior, you're popping recklessness and you're immune to basically everything, especially fears. That is fucking awesome. I think that is sick. So by all means, these two right here, you're looking at some really good juice, and we love juice. As far as weapons go, early on, I really think this hammer is pretty solid if you manage to get it in the runs that you're doing. Someone's calling me. I'm about to lock them in. And I'm actually going to lock them in the cage, and then we're going to starve them for a week if they don't let me finish my fucking video. However, just joking. YouTube, family friendly. However, yes, Whisper, the mace, 3.60. Pretty solid overall. 12 strength, 12 stamina, plus the 7 melee damage, and the 1% crit rating that you're getting from this item. The slower the weapon, the better, obviously, in PvP, especially if we're going to be going with Seal of Command overall with this specific build. This is a solid weapon to get if you manage to get this bad boy early on, maybe, going through, phase 3 overall. And then from there, pretty much, oh yeah, we'll switch the camera on this side like I said I was going to do earlier. Dark Vision Girdle, actually still phenomenal. Now, I have the girdle and I have the Power Waist Belt. You can't go wrong with the Power Assisted Lifting Belt. That's still really good. I also think the Hyperconductive Belt, still pretty solid as well. But overall, the Dark Vision Girdle is going to be absolutely fine. You can even go for something like the Defiler or Highlander thing. I believe this is Arathi Highlands, Arathi Basin based rep. And then you have obviously the best in slot, which is the leather piece, which is really good. But the Dark Vision Girdle, if you manage to get this, yet another reason why No Morgan is still pretty relevant when coming to Phase 3 and coming to this specific type of loot. The more upgraded version of the Protector Band, really good stuff. If you have that, great. This is for early on. And if you manage to have the Hypercharge gear from Devastation from Nomer, really good piece still. 10 stamina from a ring, 8 agility and 7 strength, plus having some natural resistance from like nature and arcane, especially when you're fighting arcane mages and druids, or nature poison, any poisons and stuff. This is just fucking good. This is a pretty damn good ring. Overall, though, you could stack double protector band if you want to, the previous one, and then rock another protector band. That's still really good too. And I'm just gonna say this now: this Libram on the bottom right is the best one for PvP. There's no other Librams that are gonna replace this because it's just reducing this the mana cost of your seal spells by 10, which is still really good. The other one for Dragonkin is purely PvE, so we're not going to be using that for PvP whatsoever. So let's put the camera back right around here. Okay, and then let's go into we'll talk about talent points at the end, and we'll go into the calculator, right? So let's go into the next part of the video, which is the midway version of PvP. So for midway PvP here, we have basically a little bit of a switch up. Nothing too much crazy as from before of what we originally seen, besides a couple items being changed here and there. Now, obviously, most importantly, we're still running with the Knight set, but we're not running the full 6-piece set this time around. We are running only the 3-piece set, which we're using the helm, the pauldrons, and the gauntlets. We're actually replacing the chest piece, the leggings, and the greaves with the whaling set, because now the whaling set is going to give us much more points into strength, agi, and stamina, plus on top of getting all your enchantments. And then the fact that you're getting the 3-piece bonus from having an improved chance to hit, but also a whopping 15 strength. Strength is so important to a paladin. It is our best stat besides agility. Obviously, spell power is really good too, but we're not using spell power particular builds in this version, even though we will benefit a lot from that from Sheaf of Light, of course, and the Art of War build. But this is really good, juicy stuff, and I'm really a fan of mixing the two different style of sets. And this will carry you in PvE, this will carry you in PvP as well, getting to the midway portion of your journey into Phase 3. Now, we got the belt. If we were managing to get this, this is absolutely juicy. Let's put the camera over here, actually. Let's swerve it. My bad, guys. You know how I'd be a little slacking on the editing. My bad. My bad. However, yes. So, for the leather, 8 strength, 10 stam, 30 attack power. That is fucking juicy. Guys, that is real good. So, I think this might be possibly one of the better belts in the game to use. However, I understand if you want to stick with the Dark Vision Girdle, or if you want to stick with your epic, maybe your hyperconductive or your powered assistant lifting belt, it's fine because you want to have a little bit more armor. That's totally fine. But this is just something I don't think you can pass up. And if you manage to get it, absolutely awesome come Phase 3. The Blackstone Ring, something that people are going to be going for a lot. 20 attack power, improve your chance to hit by 1% with a nice 6 stamina bonus on top of the ring. And then also the Protector Band overall. So people are obviously going to be farming a lot of these different pieces of gear from, different dungeons like BRD, from Sunken Temple itself, obviously doing, the reputational rewards. A lot of this gear, just spread it all over Azeroth for you to find. The Panther for a cloak, we're going to be going with this right here. Let's move the camera to the right again. All right, we're moving back and forth. All right, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. The Panther for a cloak, which is the upgrade from the Drape of Dismantling. 15 agility, 6 strength, 3 agility, where you're getting 18 agility overall. Very juicy stuff, and honestly, the cloak looks sick too. It actually is badass. I think this is actually one of the coolest fucking looking cloaks I've seen so far. I'm a fan of this. Yes, but anyways. So, and then we actually finally go with the new sword, Parasomnia, which is the PvP STV reputational reward sword. Really juicy sword, and to be honest, this sword has an argument to be kept within endgame PvP builds based on how much stamina you are getting alone. Yes, you are sacrificing a little bit of strength and agility compared to the other swords we're going to mention in a second, but 3.40, 52.2 damage per second, and not on top of its chance on hit effect to cause the target to wander aimlessly for up to 2 seconds. That's basically a built-in like blind from like a rogue, you know. So this is really cool stuff. I like the way this sword is sounding, plus the 7 melee damage from the enchantment. Overall, phenomenal sword. And it just looks fucking sick. I love the fact that we are getting some badass looking swords. This is like out of Devil May Cry, bro. This shit is sick. I want to start, you know what? I want to do this to it. Settle down, not that type of video. You know what I'm saying? However, anyways, let's lock it in and move on to the next portion of the video. Thank you very much. So, for endgame PvP into PvE as well, because technically this all the stuff could be used with it, but we're talking PvP mainly here, just mainly. All right, this is the build to run based on pure raw dog dicking it down damage and going for it. Now, you can make an argument that you don't need to use the Knights and Wailing set, and you could just replace the Knight set and go for the Great Helm of the Nightmare, and just go for flat strength. Like, you could replace the entire Knight set and just go with the Spalders of the Fanaticism. I don't know how to pronounce that right. Fana, okay? The Spalders of Fana, okay? We have another ability called Fana in the Runes, all right? Enough! Fanta, whatever. But yes, you can go with these Spalders if you just want flat strength and agility. You can go with the Greater Helm of the Nightmare if you just want more strength and more stamina, and plus, you know, the crit rating. Or actually, is that crit rating or hit? Crit rating, yes, it is crit rating. And then also for the chest piece, if you just want to fucking get +4, 28 strength, and then, you know, 6 stamina because it's +4 in general on everything, this is really juicy overall. So yes, this is really good for endgame PvP. And then we're going to be talking about the sword. How can we not mention this Dragon Tooth Monster Hunter Greatsword that we got on our back? I mean, come on. This is basically what I said in a couple of my videos before about, you know, talking about the loot and stuff. This is Obsidian Edgeblade from MC. At 3.40 swing speed for a whopping 64.7 damage per second, plus the 7 melee damage on top of it, plus 42 motherfucking strength. 42 strength! Plus 8 to two-handed swords at this level, which is crazy. Okay, so really juicy stuff. Let's move the camera over here and let's talk about it a little bit more. So maybe, did I mess up the camera rating? We good right here? Yeah, we're good. Obviously, best in slot belt. Sticking with the Knight's gear set. If you want to, just for the extra stamina, get to be, you know, make yourself really juicy. And then with the Wailing set as well. And now we're finally, if we manage to get this, the Drakeclaw Band of the Berserker plus 13 stamina with 1% chance to hit and 20 AP. You are going to be getting 20 AP, 20 AP, and if you have this belt, 30 AP. You are fucking going to be smacking for 70 attack power just from 3 items. From 3 items. That is absolutely insane. I mean, the sky is the limit, all right? Now, as far as your trinkets go, you can make an argument that you could stick with the Gyromatic Experiment from Nomer, or hear me out, if you have the Avenger's Void Pearl, which is still good because of shadow resistance, having natural shadow resistance on our PvP build is just nice in general from those shadow priests, you know, or shadow bolts in general, right? Just having some type of resistance, like we have the arcane, the nature resistance, and the shadow resistance, and we're a fucking melee spec overall. There's a lot of awesome things going on with this. So it's only 10, but that goes a long way, all right? Ask your mother about that one. However, lock it in. Yeah, so you don't need to go with the new trinket in the raid. This is good. This is really nice. But I would say, obviously, you want to stick with your PvP trinket overall. for majority of the time, you want to go with the greater insignia of the alliance or any version that's better than that from your PvP vendor. So this is always going to be amazing to have just in case of an emergency situation, besides bubbling and stuff like that. But this is basically the build. Now, there is another charm that I pulled up. I think it's on this tab here. Which is really actually dope as well. We're going to move the camera back over here on the right-hand side. So hold on 1 minute. There we go. And this is basically Altai Blood Ritual Charm. And it's cool for the spell damage effect that you get if you manage to get this, right? Not saying you're going to. So this is something I'll throw in there. It's an optional thing because obviously you're getting 96 spell damage from this trinket, especially increasing the spell damage from Sheaf of Light. This is just something that's fucking nuts. And it has an on-use ability. Plus you can heal yourself if you're bubbling. And then also every time you cast a spell, the bonus is reduced by 8 spell damage and 16 healing. It's only a 2-minute cooldown, so this benefits off of increasing your spell damage off your exorcisms, right? So and your judgments. So cool stuff, really cool stuff. I like that a lot. But yes, that is the build that we have for endgame PvP. Now let us talk about talents for the Paladin overall, for PvP in general. So we're gonna go 5 Benny. 5 deflection, seal of command. We have to go 2 in the pursuit of justice. We're gonna go 5 in conviction, 2 in improved judgment, 3 in 2-hand weapon specialization. I believe we're gonna go 2 in eye for an eye. I actually like eye for an eye better than vindication, because it just having the spell critical against me, 30% of the damage taken to the caster as well. It's like basically letting hey, you're gonna crit me, but you're gonna feel some damage as well. And if I'm not enraged to repent your ass and get closer, throw an iron grenade at you, you're gonna get fucked. So you best believe, hit me hard, but you're gonna get hit a little hard too. 5 out of 5 in Vengeance is a must, and then 1 in Repentance. So now we are at 40 points, and this is what we're naturally at already. Obviously, we are going to be rocking for our PvP build. I like going with Divine Storm because it's just better in the battlefield. I love running Exorcism, Crusader Strike, and then obviously Sheaf of Light. And then the foot rune, we're going to be going with the Art of War. On top of using the newer runes, I know 60 upgrades is not showing it here, with, the Fana ability. And then going with, I believe we will be using the Righteousness rune, the one where you hit up to 2 targets, basically. So, basically, that is our build for the rune stuff. However, which actually, you know what? I'll bring you over there, because I know that can be a little confusing. Let me not confuse it out. Let me not confuse it out. Let's go over here so I could show you down here, because I know these are the new runes. So we would basically be using Fana over here, or possibly Wrath, depending on how good Wrath is. There is the choice of using that based on the fact that damage from your exorcism spells gain additional critical strike chance equal to your melee strike chance. So there is a world where Wrath is better than the Fanaticism. So if it is better, we'll be using Wrath. But if it's not, then we'll be sticking with Fana. But however, when it comes to the new one, which is located, I'm having a brain fart right now. Forgive me. I'm just clicking through them because I'm having a brain fart. The wrist slot, unbelievable. We will be going with Hammer of Righteousness, depending on if Purifying Power is better, if we're not constantly proccing over and over and over again already with Exorcism. And if Exorcism is already, resetting so fast already, this is kind of almost pointless. However, the one really good thing about Purifying Power is specifically it says demon targets for 2 seconds that it can stun them, which Metamorphosis Warlocks count as demons when you're doing your exorcism. If you're Paladin, you ever hit a Metamorphosis Warlock with an exorcism, it's always critting on them. And if it resets the crit, it's crazy. And I do think it's a bit bullshit that they should get critted nonstop. Warlocks, I feel you on that one. It's just the way the game's made. Don't hate the Paladin, don't hate the player, hate the game. However, that's just the way it is. And honestly, if undead didn't count as humanoids, this would be nuts for them too, because it could stun them. However, if this is going to count towards demons, it's going to stun your ass for 2 seconds. That's another stun, and it's going to make my day better fighting warlocks overall, because, drain life, suckage. It's a crazy fight. I love warlocks, though. But overall, I do think Hammer of Righteousness might be better, especially how this is benefited if this is based off of more of a one-hand thing. But if this is based more off of a two-hand scenario, then I could see this being really nice and hammering a current target and up to two additional nearby targets, basically cleaving, causing 4 times your main hand damage per second as holy damage. And I like the way that sounds. So there's some experimentation to go on with the head and wrist slot. But back to this portion of the video. So now it goes up to where are you going to put the last 10 points. Now you can make an argument that you could switch, if you have to in a situation where you're fighting a melee, switch to a sworded shield, that you put on points into redoubt, and maybe throw in some points. I wouldn't say too much of precision, because you don't really, if you're that hit capped, then you could put more points if you don't have enough hit for some reason. But overall, I would say mess around maybe toughness, and get more armor value. Just getting more armor value overall to become a little bit more tankier, especially with a meta that is, obviously so bursty. And then you could switch to this, but I wouldn't recommend this overall. I think, honestly, the best bet is 5 points into Divine Strength and 5 points into Divine Intellect. Since in the build for PvP, we're not going to be running, obviously Seal of Martyrdom. We're going to be doing mainly for Seal of Command. This is a really nice, way to just simply build your Paladin overall. And I think, 10% more in strength, 10% more intellect, having the ability to have more ability, spam more judgments with benediction. This is totally fine. For some people, you might not want benediction. You might want 5 points into improved blessing of mind, just have more raw dog power by a certain amount of thresholds. Not crazy amount, but a certain small amount, which is fine though. You could go with, if you're having no mana issues, by all means, switch benediction for improved blessing of might, and then rock out your build from there. I even think also there is a world with building, into approved Sealed Crusader and 1v1s is really nice, depending on who you're 1v1ing. Obviously, against the priest, they're going to dispel it, but, pretty solid, an option. But, guys, I speaked enough. I talked enough. It's been a minute since we did a longer video. That is it for today. I hope you enjoyed all the builds I went over. I hope you enjoyed the talents, the PvP stuff. Obviously, we're going to have people in the comments saying, Seal of Martyrdom still better, brother. I know that, you son of a bitch. For PvE, yes. And it's actually not that bad in PvP. I tried. I tested it. I've tested many of things. Also, wait a second. The video's not technically over. Rewind. Rewind. We're going to talk Reckoning. We're going to talk Reckoning real quick, because Reckoning build is actually pretty badass. Now, for Reckoning, I would say improved Devo armor. We can go with improved Guardian's Favor. We're going to go a little bit into toughness. I would say, because we don't really need this stuff. We're trying to avoid this, right? So maybe we go, if we're hit capped, then we can go into precision. Or no, if we're hit capped, we don't need precision. But if we need the hit, we can use precision, right? But overall, we are getting the best bang for our buck in terms of overall value, of how much, tankiness and stuff we can take. Redoubt is a good option. We would, because obviously, there is those situations where we'll have that one hand, we're going to be basically dancing around like a warrior almost, switching stances, but switching from, a two-hand to a sword and board style. Now, huge, prove hammer and justice. Oh, beautiful. Blessing of Kings, we'll take that as well. I say at this point, we can either make the decision. Anticipation, you could take the defense skill. I'm not too much of a fan of it. I prefer toughness a little bit over this when it comes to PvP. But I do think there is a world where you could spec into a little bit more of it. But I would say put one more point into Redoubt, if we can get into Reckoning. And now here comes the juice. The juice is online, because we're going 5 points into one-hand weapon specialization. And then I would say we switch over. We switch over here. Now this is where we make the choice. Are we having a lot of mana that we're maintaining? The runes stay the same, by the way, guys. The runes are staying the same. If you want to go into more of a Seal of Martyrdom style build, then you would go into Divine Strength and then into Improved Seal of Righteousness, since Improved Seal of Righteousness benefits off of Seal of Martyrdom now, which some people still don't know that. I don't know, I'm not saying I don't know how you don't know that, but if you're not fully locked in, then do me a favor, brother. Lock the fuck in and stay up with the news. However, just doing that because I love you. However, yes, I honestly think that from here, you could put one more point somewhere else if you wish to. If you want to finish off Redoubt, by all means, you could. But I think it would be best to either switch the points off into something else, or even not even take the one-hand weapon spec and then go into Retribution. Now, if, like I said, if you're having mana issues, put Benediction. If you're not, do Improve Blessing of Might. I like Benediction personally. That's just me. But what's so beautiful about this build, because this is where things become juicy, okay? Deflection. In a Reckoning build is chef's kiss, because the fact that we increase our parry chance by 5%, and if we were to get critted after 100% chance of getting an extra attack after being the victim of a critical strike, I am telling you, the Wreck Bomb is gonna be, I'm just gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be beautiful, magical, settled down in Minecraft. However, and the fact that we get Seal of Command, we need Seal of Command, and then this is the choice you have to make. Do you put 5 points into Conviction, or 2 points, and then only, because, like, here's the thing, right? You want to be fast on the battlefield. Being slow on the battlefield does not help you out. You need as much movement as a Paladin as possible. So I think if you want to be balls to the wall, 5 points in Conviction. But if you want to be safe, 3 points in Conviction and 2 points in Pursuit of Justice. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Reckoning build. Now, you could do 5 into one-handed spec. I'm not saying you can't. If you want to rock just one-handed specialization, by all means, do it. But I like what I'm looking at right here. I don't need the Improved Judgment in this style of build, even though when Judgment's off cooldown, I will try to spam it depending on, you know, the window, right? And also, an awesome thing about this build, too, is that you get to Seal Twist, like with Seal of Command, and if you're using a one-handed weapon, Seal of Righteousness, you know? You get to Seal Twist between both seals. And especially with, like, you know, other seals as well, in general. But overall, this is a really nice build. I like this when it comes to PvP. This is things that I'm experimenting with. There's many of other experimentations are going to be happening. Nothing is set in stone, and that's where we end the video right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, your boy here, Papatello, bringing you the coverage and the news and the updated stuff as much as I can. And I just want to kiss you sometimes. I really do. Maybe take you out to a dinner date. A little chicken teriyaki. You like teriyaki? I'll slap the shit out of you. You better lock it in. However, a couple more days. Get those quests done. You know, get your gold up. And get ready to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. I'll see you on the journey. And as always, keep on keeping on. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.